No. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So I'll continue. Gravel fill, 13.97 cubic meter. Structural concrete, 4,000 PSI, class A, 28 days, 71 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel deformed, weight 40, 5,016.32 kilogram. And in permit and clearances, you have the excavation permit as per ordinance. So this is the minimum equipment requirement to be used. Two-way radio, 2 owned, barricade flasher, 10 owned, trailer for equipments, 1 leased, concrete vibrator, 2 owned concrete skidder, 1 owned concrete saw, 1 owned mechanized joint sealer, 1 owned plate compactor, 1 leased vibrator roller, 1 leased motorized road grader, 1 leased dump truck, 2 leased transit mixer, 1 leased concrete batch plant, 1 leased chainsaw, 1 leased boom truck, 1 leased backhoe, pavement breaker, 1 leased water truck, pump all models, 1 leased bulldozer, 1 leased payloader, 1 leased backhoe, 1 leased bar cutter, single phase, 1 owned bar bender, 3 phase, 1 owned 1 bagger mixer, 1 owned applicator machine, 1 leased kneading machine, 1 leased cargo or service truck all models, 1 leased truck mounted crane, standard lattice boom all models, 1 leased laboratory testing apparatus, 1 set owned. And that's all for this project. Thank you. Any question?
Thank you, Engineer Bonbon. So, was there any questions from this may hapon sa kanang wala may question but ako lang sa mga suggestion na if ever na mo nauban nga meeting they i-maintain na to ng so part ng project sa DPWH Pagatpat is ayang dagat and they improve gusto ng presence sa other barangays na and from Brunei mga pag-relate to communication and from manpower sa mga sa traffic kaya kaya siya usually ang nagtago sa other barangays and though ay gamay sa ako sa before pero medyo na siya so kana na siguro nga akong tutukan ang pero sa ang tawag ang completed sa mga projects especially if mga sa sure until 3 hours ako isipan nga barangay wala ko sa alas 5 experience ako sa akong swingan na barangay nawat ang bilang ng power ng big man sa traffic watchman so nila so hopefully kana kung yung na to sa advice sa pagpapalong patagan mo siya sa pasok okay ka we will take that suggestion. So during implementations before that part, we go over with this project. So with the pre-construction meeting, we will
Next slide, please, sir. So, thank you very much. So, is there any questions or clarifications regarding the details of the project? How about from our online viewers? Yes, sir.
Tugtungan ko na ulan ng konti yung galing tugtungan ko na yung konti yung galing kaya pwede ito naman talaga ang ano ko lang sa contractor, pinapayagan yung mga contractor ng mag-focus ng mga activity. Kasi yun ang alam ko na pag sa maraming tao, kung pinapayagan nyo ba?
Yes, sir. Actually, yan ang aming setup. Kasi committed namin na doon tayo tayo sa trabaho. Especially ng mga area na yung mga pizzaspilahan, yung parang yung rush hour. So, traffic talaga. So, kung depende na yun sa ano siya, construction method sa ng contractor. Thank you very much. So, there is any clarification pa. So, is there no more question or clarification? So now let's proceed for the fourth project. The rehabilitation of road at Barangay Balulang, Station 0+000 to Station 1+000 Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental. The details of this project will be discussed by Engineer Carmen-Patag-Bulua.
Okay. Hmm. Hello, good afternoon for rehabilitation of road at Barangay Balulang, Station 0 to Station 1000. Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental with calendar days of 139 and approved budget for contract of 18,215,945.08. This project has a total length of 1,000 meters, divided into 6 sections. Section 1 with was it shown here with 115.11 meters. Section 2 of 180.44, Section 3 51.63, Section 4 139.73, Section 5 245.24, and Section 6 with 267.86. And as shown here is the Section 1, 2, 3, and 4 presented by the red line. Section 1 here at Nangka Street. Section 2 at the 10th Street, 3 and the 2nd Street, and 9th Street for the Section 4. And for Section 5 and 6, as shown here, on the left side is Section 5 and Section 6 on the right side. Here's the general area of the 2 divided locations for the Section 1 to 4 and Section 5 to 6, shown here. For the minimum equipments required for the project, we have 2-way radio, 3 owned, barricade flasher light, 10 owned, trailer for equipments, 1 lease, trailer for minor tools, 1 lease, backhoe with pavement breaker, 1 lease, payloader, 2 lease, dump truck, 2 lease, concrete saw, 1 lease, bulldozer, 1 lease, backhoe, 1 lease, motorized road grader, 1 lease, vibratory roller, 1 lease, water truck / pump, 1 lease, concrete vibrator, 2 own, concrete screeder, 1 own, bar cutter, 1 own, mechanized joint sealer, 1 lease, transit mixer, 4 lease, concrete batch plant, 1 lease, Material testing apparatus in accordance to DEO 11 series of 2017, one set owned. Truck mounted crane, standard lattice boom, all models, one lease. One bagger mixer, one owned. Bar bender, one owned. And cargo / service truck, all models, one lease. Oh, shucks. Hmm. Okay. Follow mo lang. Hindi. Ito, Excel mo.
Itong sa marami mo dali.
Wala ito. Hirap na pa rin plan, di ba? Nagkataon ako pa rin. Second. Continue, sorry for the technical difficulties. Let's skip on to the typical review sections for the project. I'm gonna show the summary of quantities after this. For the typical review sections for the project, we have, as shown here, we have proposed street light. And for the PCCP, we have 230 mm thickness. And the width of from on the one of the sections is 2,500 mm per lane, or 2.5 meters. And for the other typical railway sections, which is depends on the section, it's ranging from 2 meters to 2.5 meters per lane. We have proposed line canal, and here are the details for that. And here are the typical street lighting details. And for the summary of quantities for the project, we have permits and clearances, one lump sum. Project billboard / signboard for each. Occupational safety and health program, one lump sum. Traffic management, one lump sum. Mobilization / demobilization, one lump sum. For earthworks, we have removal of structures and obstruction, concrete, with a quantity of 32.70 cubic meters. Structure excavation common soil, surplus common excavation with a quantity of 1,542.89 cubic meters. Structure excavation common soil with a quantity of 1,590.59 cubic meters. Embankment from roadways / structure excavation common soil with a quantity of 121.80 cubic meters, and gravel fill with a quantity of 56.10 cubic meters. For subdivision and base courses, we have aggregate base course with a quantity of 475.48 cubic meters. And for our surface courses, we have Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced 0.3 meters thick, 7 days, with a quantity of 4,755 square meters. And for our drainage slope protection structures, for our drainage, we have reinforcing steel, grade 40, with a quantity of 39,651.21 kilograms. And structural concrete 20.16 MPa, class A, 7 days, with a quantity of 342.29 cubic meters. And for our miscellaneous structures, for singles arm solar LED roadway lighting, 9 meters pole, 80 watts to 125 watts with a quantity of 19 each. So that's all for rehabilitation of road at Barangay Balulang. Any questions?
Thank you, Engineer Carl. So, is there any questions from our visitors? How about from our online viewers? So, small questions, very much like projects. So now let's proceed to project number 5. And rehabilitation of road at Barangay Canitoan, Station 0 plus 000 to Station 2 plus 000, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental. So the details of this project will be discussed again by the General Manager Marks.
Good afternoon again. For rehabilitation of road at Barangay Canitoan, with approved budget for the contract of 36,998,409.31 and calendar days of 350. For this project, we have 3 sections with a total length of 2,000 meters. Section 1 with 1,916.75 meters. And for section 3, we have 83.25 meters for PCCP with a total of 2,000 meters. Other than the section 2 for the drainage, which is 316 meters. So for this project shown here at Canitoan City Agong, represented by the red line, along this alignment is this for the rehabilitation for the road for Canitoan. And here, also representing the red line, is where the drainage will be placed, which I've mentioned before, which is 360 meters. And for the other section for the PCCP, represented by the green line, near the Familias apartment building. And here are the typical roadway sections for our project. For the rehabilitation of the roadway section, the road has an existing 2.5 to 3.05 meters per lane. And the new lane or the new width for the after rehab is 3.05. So the new PCCP that will be that's gonna be put there is 218 mm thick, and the base course is 200 mm thick. Same. And also shown here is the proposed manhole and the proposed drain line canal. And a typical plan for the reblocking or the rehab. The typical drainage details. Typical manhole details. And here are the summary of quantities. We have permits and clearances, one lump sum, project billboard for each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Traffic management, 1 lump sum. Mobilizations, that's the mobilization, 1 lump sum. Removal of actual structures / obstruction, 0.23 meters thick, PCCP, unreinforced, with a quantity of 8,625 square meters. For surplus common excavation, with a quantity of 2,980.87 cubic meters. For structure excavation, common soil, we have a quantity of 1,494 cubic meters. And for embankment from roadway / structure excavation, common soil, we have a quantity of 239.24 cubic meters. And gravel fill, with a quantity of 46.80 cubic meters. And for the subbase and base courses, for 2011 aggregate base course, we have a quantity of 2,104.5 cubic meters. For surface courses, we have Portland cement concrete pavement reinforced 0.28 meters thick, 14 days. It's a quantity of 10,522.5 square meters. And for our drainage and slope protection structures, here are the items and quantities for drainage. Reinforcing steel, grade 40, with a quantity of 38,903.04 kilograms, and structural concrete, 20.68 MPa, Class A, 7 days, with a quantity of 325.80 cubic meters. And here are the minimum equipments required for the project requirements: two-way radio, 3 ohm, barangay flasher light, 10 ohm, trailer for equipments, 1 lease, trailer for minor tools, 1 lease, backhoe with pavement breaker, 1 lease, payloader, 2 lease, dump truck, 2 lease, concrete saw, 1 ohm, bulldozer, 1 lease, backhoe, 1 ohm, motorized road grader, 1 lease, vibratory roller, 1 ohm, water truck / pump, 1 lease, concrete vibrator, 2 ohm, concrete screeder, 1 ohm, bar cutter, 1 ohm, mechanized joint sealer, 1 ohm, transit mixer, 4 lease, concrete batch plant, 1 lease, cargo / service truck all models, 1 lease, truck mounted crane, standard lattice boom all models, 1 lease, 1 bagger mixer, 1 own, bar bender, 3-phase, 1 own, and cargo truck for the 9 to 10 metric tons, 1 lease. And that's all for Rehabilitation Road at Barangay Canitoan. Any questions?
What materials sila para sa include sa lugar requirements.
Yeah, ano ko na-include? Ano ko na-include, sir? I-adjust na ako for bid bulletin. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is there any questions or clarifications regarding the details of the Online viewers. So there's no questions on this project about details.
Ito pa yun.
So now let's proceed for the sixth project. Rehabilitation of road at Barangay Iponan, Station 0+002, Station 1+100. Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Omana. Details on the project will be discussed by Engineer Andre.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will present the rehabilitation of road at Barangay Iponan, Station 0 to Station 1500, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental. We have the appropriation of 28,315,000 with the ABC of 27,748,201.33 pesos, with a total project duration of 286 calendar days. For the scope of works, we have a 970 meter, 0.23 thick PCCP, 5 meter width, a 378 meter, 0.23 meter thick PCCP, 4 meter width, a 400 meter, 0.23 thick PCCP, 6.1 meter width, and a 190 meter line canal with a width of 1.3 meter, and 20 sets of solar street lights, and subject for bid bulletin. For the location of our projects, so along the Barangay Iponan area, so we have 12 sections indicated here by the blue and red lines. We have the section 1, 2. We have many different sections in this in Barangay Iponan, so indicated here. For our section 1 at Iponan Balaos, 5-meter width with 332-meter length. And also section 2, zone 7 Balaos with a 4-meter width, 159-meter length. For the section 1, this is the location for section 1, start and end. For section 2, at the beginning and also the end. Here indicated the section 3 of section 3 road at Bulao with a 5-meter width and a 69-meter length. Also, this section 12 Bulao 2, which is 5-meter width, 205-meter length. Section 5 Bulao 3, 5-meter width with the length of 93.5 meters. Section 5, 5-meter width, 40-meter length. And lastly, the section 7, 5-meter width, 70-meter length. So the start of section 3 after the existing PCCP and the end of section 3. Start of our section 12 and end of our section 12. Start of our section 4 and end of our start of our section 5. So section 4 and section 5 are intersecting. The end of our section 5. The start of our section 6 Bulao and end of our section 6. We have here the section 7 at zone 1C with a width of 4 meter and also the length of 219 meter. And section 8 near that's the Saint Peter Road beside the left side of Saint Peter. Right side beside the Saint Peter Road, 4-meter width and 130-meter length. For the start of section 7 and the end of section 7. Or section 8, so this existing gravel road. For our section 9, behind Westfield, we have a 5-meter width, 170-meter length. And also section 11, a reblocking with a 6.10-meter width, 400-meter length. So this is there will be changes in the bid bulletin, so I will update the plans. For the section 9 behind the Westfield, so we will connect this Barangay Road to the other side. And also start of our reblocking of section 11. And then of reblocking of section 11 along the main road in Centro Iponan. Lastly, the section 10 near the MGCI with a 5-meter width and 70-meter length. All in all, we have 12 sections. For the typical sections of our project, so we have a typical section of 5-meter width. Indicated here the stations. So we have the embankment from roadway, structure excavation, common soil, the Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced 0.23 meter thick, 14 days PCCP, and also the aggregate base course of 0.15 thickness and surplus common excavation. For typical road section with line canal, it is located in section 1. We have a structure excavation for the line canal, a structural concrete class A, 27.58 megapascal, 28 days, a reinforcing steel grade 40, and a gravel fill 0.10 thick, indicated in the typical section. Here, the typical section, roadway section for a 4-meter width road, indicated the limits here on the right and the left side, same as the 5-meter width pay items. And also typical roadway section, 5-meter width with solar street lights. We have the single arm solar LED roadway lighting, 9-meter tall pole with 80 watts to 135 watts. and also a typical roadway section for our reblocking. We have the plan view of our line canal and also the details, the reinforcement details and the thickness. We have a top cover of 0.20 meter thick and a 1.3 meter total width of our line canal. Indicated here also the steel plate cover in between. There'll be steel plate cover every 10 meters. For minimum equipment requirements, we have the trailer for equipments. One leased concrete vibrator, 2 owned concrete spreader, 1 owned, a mechanized joint sealer machine, 1 owned, plate compactor, 1 owned, a vibratory roller, 1 leased, motorized road grader, 1 leased, dump truck, all models, 2 leased, backhoe, 1 leased, backhoe with pavement breaker, 1 leased, bulldozer, 1 leased, payloader, 1 leased, water truck / pump, 1 leased, cargo truck with a 9 to 10 metric tons capacity, 1 leased, a bar cutter with a 25 mm maximum rebar, 1 owned, and also a bar bender, 25 mm maximum rebar, 1 owned, 1 bagger mixer, 1 owned, concrete saw for our PCCP, 1 owned, a 2-way radio with lifespan of consideration of 2 years, 2 owned for the traffic management, the barricade flasher lights for traffic management also, 29 owned, and lastly, the material testing apparatus in accordance to DEO 11 series 2017, 1 owned. For the summary of our quantities, we have the provision for the field office engineer, 9.53 months, rental basis, the project billboard signboard for each occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum, traffic management, 1 lump sum, mobilization / demobilization, 1 lump sum. For earthworks, we have a removal of actual structure / obstruction, 0.23 meter thick, CCP reinforced, with a quantity of 3,355 square meters. Surplus common excavation, 2,662 cubic meters. A structure excavation common soil of 31.68 cubic meters for the line canal and also the street lights. Embankment from roadway / structure excavation common soil with the quantity of 1,408.50 cubic meters. Gravel fill, 2.88 cubic meters. Subgrade preparation common material, we have 10,157 square meters. For subbase and base course, the aggregate base course of 1,760 cubic meters. For surface courses, we have the Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced, 0.23 meter thick, 14 days, with a quantity of 11,735 square meter. For our reinforcing steel, grade 40, the quantity of 9,111.90 kilograms. Structural concrete class A, 27.58 megapascal, can take 28 days of 122.94 cubic meters. Also for our line canal and solar street lights, pedestals, and footings. And structural concrete painting works with a quantity of 16 square meters. And the miscellaneous structures of single arm solar LED roadway lighting, 9 meter pole, 80 watts to 125 watts, 20 each. For the provisional lump sum, we have the 624.9C1, the solar roadway lighting. So it's specified here, we have a 125 watt integrated solar street light and also a 9 meter round paper pole, hot dip galvanized steel. So the upper diameter is 115 and the lower diameter is 205 mm. And also the details for our steel plate, the anchor bolts, and the base plates. So thank you. So the project's more on concreting of existing gravel roads and few reblockings and 190-meter line canal and 20 sets of solar street lights. So that's all for the rehabilitation of Barangay Road at of roads at Barangay Iponan.
Imagine. So, is there any questions or clarifications from our observers or our visitors? Is that from our viewers? So, there's no questions regarding the details of this project. So now let's proceed with our last project. Construction, completion of multi-purpose building, Barangay Center, Barangay Pagatpat, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental. The coordinates of 154.58319 degrees and 824,590 degrees. So the details of this project will be discussed by Engineer Major Castillo.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'll be representing the project named Construction Completion of Multi-Purpose Building, Barangay Center, Barangay Pagatpat, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis, Oriental, with the coordinates of 124.58319 and 8.45902, with a contract ID of 26KH0063. So the appropriation of this project is 3 million with an approved budget contract of 2,969,905.11 centavo with a calendar days of 100, and its major categories are BICWPLC, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame, and for the similar major categories is BICWOPHC, buildings, construction without piles, high-rise concrete frame. So mostly the scope of work of this project is the construction of the extended 2 bays of the existing covered court with electrical works and elevation of the existing basketball court concrete slab with painting lines. So this is the location plan. The area is along the Mamerta Street, near the Farmer Center and Materials Recovery Facility. So this is the location plan and the site photos. So as you can see, we already have existing structures, mainly the covered court and the a little bit damaged concrete slab to be layered with also existing electrical fixtures. So the perspective of this project is on the left side is the existing building with the covered court concrete slab and the light fixtures, while on the right side is the proposed building structure. So instead of just 3 bays from the existing, we will have 5 bays in total due to the additional of 2 bay and the layered concrete slab. So this is the truss perspective and the layout plan. So the red broken lines is the existing building structure, while the blue broken lines is the proposed building extension layout. So for the floor plan, for the architectural, we have the ground floor plan. And the roof plan, which also is a dual slope, just like the existing roof. And the elevations, front, rear, left side, and right side elevations. We also have the sections such as the cross sections and the longitudinal sections. For the structural part, we have the foundation plan, roof beam plan, and the roof framing plan. Also with a structural cross-section and structural longitudinal sections. So this is the isometric view of roof framing plan. We're still gonna use the same with the same wide flange or the I-beam, which are the W16 by 36 and W8 by 18 for the truss. And these are the schedule for the structural, the footing, column, concrete beams, and the wide flange for the trusses. And these are the connection details. And now for the electrical plan, we have the lighting layout plan, power layout plan, grounding layout plan, and the roof air terminal layout plan. Now for the safety warning signs, we have the proper PPE signage, safety first, SF1, and safety first, SF2. Hard hat area, danger deep excavation, beware falling debris, construction entrance, construction exit, safety harness required, welding hot work area, authorized personnel only, fall hazard, temporary material stacking area. And now for the summary of quantities. In Part B, other general requirements, we have B51, project billboard signboard, 2 each. B71, occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum. B91, mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. And for Part C, earthworks, 803-1A, structural excavation common soil, 32.13 cubic meter. 804, individual removal of trees above 900 mm diameter, 2 each. 804-1A, embankment from roadway structure excavation common soil, 107.19 cubic meter. 804-2A, embankment from borrow common soil, 75.06 cubic meter. 804-7, gravel fill, 58.56 cubic meter. And for Part D, reinforced concrete, we have 901C, structural concrete, Class A, 28 days, 12.08 cubic meter. 902-1A1, reinforcing steel, deformed, grade 40, 4,654.05 kilograms. 902C, structural concrete, Class B, 28 days, 67.60 cubic meter. 903-2, formworks and false works, 122.85 square meter. And for Part E, finishing and other works, other civil works, 1013-2A, fabricated metal roofing, accessory, 17.8 linear meter. 1014-1B2, pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 millimeter. Rib type long span, 296.33 square meter. 1032-1A, painting works, masonry concrete, 75.46 square meter. 1032-1C, painting work steel, 277.51 square meter. 1047-4B, metal structure accessories, turnbuckle, 8 each. 1047-5A, metal structure accessories, bolts and rods, 19.76 kilograms. 1047-5B, metal structure accessories, sagrods, 42.62 kilograms. 1047-5C, metal structure accessories, cross bracing, 161.16 kilograms. 1047-5D, metal structure accessories, steel plates, 820.52 kilograms. 1047-8A, structural steel trusses, 3,300 27.60 kilograms, and 1,047 8B structural steel purlins, 669.06 kilograms. And part F electrical, we have 1,110 conduits, boxes and fittings, 1 lump sum, 1,101.33 wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum, 1,102 1 panel board with main and branch breakers, 1 lump sum, and 1,103 1 lighting fixtures, 1 lump sum. And for the lump sum for our summary of quantities, we have the removal of structure and obstruction, which is the 3, 2 each. So the circled red circle right there are the 2 trees to be removed. And this is for our electrical, the conduit boxes and fittings, wires and wiring devices, panel board, and lighting fixtures. And for our minimum equipment requirement, we have the stake truck cargo, 1 unit leased, concrete vibrator, 2 unit owned, backhoe, 1 unit leased, dump truck, 1 unit leased, 1 bagger mixer, 1 unit owned, bar cutter, 1 unit owned, bar bender, 1 unit owned, welding machine, 1 unit owned, material testing apparatus, 1 set owned, minor tools, 1 set owned, truck mounted crane, 1 unit leased, plate compactor, 1 unit owned, chainsaw, 1 unit owned, grinding machine with accessories, 1 unit owned. That is all for the Barangay Pagatpat. So any questions and clarifications?
Just want to familiarize about the term. Itong slab sa tulihan ng semento.
Layered. Yes, layered of bago.
Thank you, their custody. So, is there anything this could have conditions? There is no more questions regarding this project, so at this point, I would like to call the member of our parks reminder, the construction members, and those who could be those requiring us to participate in the training of these small projects.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. For these projects, as discussed earlier, this is the schedule of these are the procurement schedules. For the buying of tender documents, it will be until June 8, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. only. For the deadline for its submission, it shall be on the same date, but until 10 a.m. So for the opening of bids, it will be right after the deadline or the dropping of bids. So for the submission of bids, we have two modes of submission. We have the manual submission of bids and the electronic submission. So for our manual submission, we have a 2-envelope system. So when we say the 2-envelope system, we have 2 envelopes. The first one is the technical, and the second envelope is the financial envelope. So for the first envelope, naka-enclose na diha ang original and the copy 1, copy 2. Same also sa financial envelope. So for the electronic submission of bids, this is in accordance with DEO 87 series of 2020. So the details are in the bidding documents. So during the submission of proposal or the bids, it may be submitted through an authorized representative together with the original notarized special power of attorney for sole proprietor or for board, partnership, joint venture resolution with secretary's certificate for corporation, partnership, joint venture, or cooperative, which is contract specific, and a presentation of a company ID should be presented or any government issued ID. So we have here the first envelope, the eligibility, technical, and the financial requirements. Those are enclosed in our first envelope. So for the first requirement, it should have a valid PhilJEPS registration certificate. So included na dito ang all pages. This is for platinum membership. So for our another requirement is the statement of the prospective bidders' ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started. So for this one, we emphasize here that failure to disclose the required information or providing incomplete or false details may result in disqualification from the bidding process. So all ongoing should be stipulated on this particular requirement. So we also have here the statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, similar to the contract to be bid. So for the PCAB, or the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board license, or for joint ventures, the special PCAB license. Then we also have here the bid security in the prescribed form. So we have 4 forms. So as shown here, we have 4 forms with the amount of bid security. Except for the bid securing declaration, we have a standard form. So this is the standard form of the bid securing declaration, or the BSD. So we have here the project requirements. So this is the form for the organizational chart for the contract to be bid. So we have here also the list of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. So the list of contractors' major construction and laboratory equipment units, which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor, vendor, for the duration of the project. So for the list of contractors, major construction and laboratory equipment, so we have a standard form for this one. Then we would like to remind all prospective bidders to kindly fill up all the required information. So we also have here the requirement, the ISO 9001:2015. So this is a certification for medium A contractors for projects with an approved budget for the contract range. So since we have 2 projects with an ABC of 46 million, we have the 26KH0059, and the other one is the 26KH0061. So you are required to include in your submission the ISO 9001:2015 certification. So this is the form, the standard form for the list of contractors key personnel. But we would also like to reiterate that they should also attach the curriculum vitae and affidavits of commitment to work on the contract for the pledged personnel. So for the list of contractors' major equipment, so as mentioned earlier, we would like to emphasize here that all this information should be filled up. So we also have here the original duly signed omnibus sworn statement, the prospective bidders' computation of net financial contracting capacity. So for joint ventures, the joint venture agreement. So we have here the standard form for the omnibus sworn statement. So an additional requirement for corporations, the latest general information sheet reflecting beneficial ownership information, which is duly received by the Security Exchange Commission, should also be attached. So for our second envelope, we have the financial requirement. So we have 5 forms. We have the financial bid form, the bill of quantities, the detailed estimates, and the cash flow by quarter. So we have here the forms. This is the bid form, the bill of quantities, the detailed estimates, or this one is the summary of bids, and the cash flow by quarter. So these are the common grounds for a non-compliant bid. So among the observations during our previous procurement activities, we have here the missing or incomplete required documents, unsigned or improperly signed forms, incorrect or inconsistent computations in the bill of quantities or the financial proposal, expired or invalid licenses and permits, non-compliance with specified technical requirements, and failure to use the prescribed forms. So as a preventive measure and recommendations, prospective bidders should carefully check the validity of all its documents, ensuring all forms are signed by the authorized signatory, using of exact forms provided in the bidding documents, verifying computations before submission, organizing documents according to the prescribed sequence, and asking clarifications from the Bids and Awards Committee Secretariat within the allowable period. So the requirement, in addition, also we have here the DEO 110 series of 2024. So as mentioned earlier, that the implementation of the ISO 9001/2015. So for ABCs 30 billion and above, you are required. So this is the basis for medium A contractors. So I believe that would be all, Mr. Vice. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you. So, sir, any questions or clarifications regarding the statutes? Because guidelines of statutes.
30 million above.
So there's no questions. So with that, I would like to thanks to our leaders who are here, sir. Thank you. And so that's conclude our briefing this afternoon. And once again, thank you everyone and good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Oh, civil works. Okay. Ako, ano eh. Hindi pa rin nagaling, di pa rin. Joy.